Could you give us a brief overview of the framework, context, conditions, and something about what you thought were the major concerns that need to be addressed by regulators over the next period of years?
Sure. So the pharmaceutical industry, just like any other sector, is subject to structural change. Unlike other industries, though, when it comes to the short-term economy, pharmaceuticals is relatively resilient. But in our industry, what drives change are the more long-term trends in science. We're moving into new areas of science, which is forcing us to go into new areas of capability and alliance building. And inevitably, that kind of structural change creates challenges and opportunities for countries that are looking to attract investment into life sciences. And what's clear to us is that, what a country can do to really make itself as attractive as possible is two things. On the one hand, there are a set of framework conditions that everyone needs to get right. The macroeconomy needs to be functioning well. We need well-functioning institutions, including competition and intellectual property. We need well-funded, high-quality science and education to really make sure that the human element, which is, in many respects our biggest asset, is healthy and world-class. And of course. But of course, beyond those framework conditions, I would say that really we need to now start thinking about what are the big policy challenges where the pharmaceutical industry has got something to bring to the table. We all know that in Europe we have an aging population. We have health systems that are under continuing financial stress. At the end of the day, we will value and put resources towards what we can measure. And unfortunately, at the moment, I think our ability to measure what really matters is not where it should be.
How do we change that?
Well, I think we need to construct some really ambitious programs for thinking about harmonising standards for data capture on patient outcomes.
Across Europe?
Potentially across Europe. I think we need to talk about what would, and I don't have all the answers, but what would result in a step change in our ability to capture outcomes data. And I think if we do that properly, it will help healthcare systems make more efficient, high quality decisions, but it will also benefit the industry, because if we do that right, that creates the infrastructure for research as well. So I think it's
That's a long-term research orientation. How do we deal with the inability of governments in a period of austerity to afford new drugs?
Well, I think it's really important that all healthcare systems have policies geared towards making sure that the mix of medicines is rational. Okay. And I think that is quite very important. So, for example, if a patient can be treated to target on an old, cheaper medicine, then that should happen. And it doesn't always happen in Europe right now, and it's important to address. But at the same time, I think it's important to get in perspective what the cost of the innovative new medicines really are. What I would say about the Medicines Bill overall is that if you get this new infrastructure right, it will open the door to a much more interesting set of potential innovative pricing and payment models. So one could envisage much more wider spread use of the sort of pricing models that would tie price or payment to value or patient outcome. I think that's potentially something that's on the cards. And I think all of these things need to be discussed between companies and government authorities in the right way.
It's a very welcome and a very open perspective for which we thank you very much.
Thank you.